Adair, the Galactic Princess of Music, quite a title, and her charming husband, Eric Guerra, who's the Galactic Viceroy of Wine.
Nice, you got it.
And so what better combination can we have than wine and music? And of course I have George Christie, my sidekick, who is the owner of Wine Industry Network.
Yeah. I want a new title though now, because
Yeah.
these guys have
Galactic.
their titles are way better than, I don't know, I gotta work on
Well,
that.
Galactic Princess of Music is taken.
Yeah,
so.
that's pretty good. The Viceroy, that's pretty, I don't know, man, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think
Pretty
we need
powerful.
Viceroy either.
Well, it's been what I was been working in wineries for 20 years, and it's always been about, can I get to vice president? Can I get to senior vice president? So when we started our own company, I'm like, can I think of the goofiest title ever just to imagine? And so we came up with Galactic Viceroy of Wine because I like it. It's galactical, it's worldwide and universe, and it's about wine.
Well, and it means you're managing a little empire.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
tell us everybody about your background in wine.
Oh, well, geez. So I've been in wine for about 20 years now. I met George many years ago, one of the wineries that we were managing. We were both working in, called Allied Domecq, little right?
Tiny company.
And, so I was in high tech in the East Bay and in startups. And when I got out of that, I wanted to go do something that I love to do instead of something that I had to do the rest of my life. And Kendall Jackson gave me my first job as a brand manager in their marketing department. And everybody knows here that Kendall Jackson is not only awesome, but it also owns many wineries. Yeah. And you could learn a ton of things. You could learn small wineries, big wineries. And so my first job was drinking from the wine fire hose. It was learning everything about wine, vineyards and wineries around the world and everything. So it was a brilliant first job to have to really get the training wheels off. And I've never left it. It's been the greatest thing I've ever done in my life, working in wine companies.
In the industry, that is definitely the way to start.
Yeah.
And it is a fabulous company.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. Actually, let's make sure we're enjoying
Yes.
wine.
Thank you. I've been talking and I've been sitting over there going, my wine is right over there. So
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
What we
Cheers.
should be doing, right?
Cheers, George. Cheers.
Woo!
And we're also streaming live on Mindy's pages here and on Facebook. So hi to everybody, all our members, all our fans.
Cheers, everybody.
Healdsburg, California, right
In the
here.
house.
Eric, I can't remember the story, but you tell a story about when you were telling your mom that you were going into the wine industry.
Oh yeah.
Tell that story.
Well, actually, and this small story has even gotten better since I've met the love of my life and my wife, 2 years. So Mindy grew up in playing music, and I'll let you tell that story. Of course, her dad was a musician, and so she was basically, ingrained in it from a kid. She went to a really serious college, which she just became inducted into the alumni hall there at Berklee School of Music in Boston.
Not the Berkeley.
Not the Berkeley.
Here.
Yes.
Berkeley in Boston.
So she should be a musician. She went through all that. So when I got into wine, I went to San Diego State University. So when I got into wine, my mom goes, well, that makes sense, Eric. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, this is really all you did in college, so at least you can make money at it now. And I think it was, it's at Long Island Moms. I think it was a compliment. To this day, I'm not really sure. 20 years later, she's like, sure, if you think it's a compliment, then go ahead with that.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
it was a little, Brooklyn mom. It was what you did in college. I mean,
But you grew up, with your dad being a musician and actually playing for James Brown at one point as well.
my dad was always, rocking. It looked like a really fun thing to do, so why not play music?
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world.
So you grew up watching your dad play?
I did.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, I was basically born, and they whisked me from the hospital to the
To a
band
concert?
truck.
So you were a roadie when you were a baby?
So all my baby pictures were in hotels
Or on the road.
and packing the band
Guitar
truck. I'm like this
Yeah.
tall.
She's riding a tricycle in a parking lot of a Vegas hotel. It's really cute. Yeah.
But Dad had a blast. I mean, I looked at my dad playing saxophone, and he was that guy. He was shaking and shimmying and is knocking his knees together. He was walking the bar, and I don't know, when school band started when I was 8 years old, I was like, bring it on, let's go have fun.
Yeah.
And never looked back.
I want to mention this wine. It is lovely.
Thank you.
It is rosé season. It was 88 degrees in Healdsburg today, I believe.
Woo.
But
Oh, yeah.
this is the perfect summer wine.
Yep.
What I really like about it is it has some viscosity.
Yeah.
Like this would be a fabulous wine with food.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is called Flower Child, correct?
Yeah.
I love that.
Ah, thank you. We came up with that image, and we found this wine. We're Negociants, our little wine company called Reserve Tastings, and
Negociant means that they are procuring the best wine they can possibly
Right.
find and putting blends together, and it's a very sophisticated way to make wine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we find really awesome people that make really great wine. But rosés can go from really bad to kind of bad to okay bad to really good. So we went through, 20, 25 rosés to find this one, and it's a little winery. We're not allowed to mention the names or anything like that. In southern Sonoma, and they had some extra fruit and they had some extra wine, and it's beautiful. It really is fantastic.
This topic has come up on the show before, where there are a lot of very famous vineyards and wineries that have excess fruit, and so they don't let you, of course, explain it. But and my last question about this wine is: this is a brand new release, correct?
It just actually this week, just this week, and it's a private membership. So for our team to get it, for people to get it, they usually join our membership at Reserve Tastings. But one cool thing is what we do with Mindy's career is that she creates all the label artwork, or we have famous artists that do it as well. We have rock artists. And so all the artwork on the labels is music related and original paintings, original drawings, whatever it is.
Well, it's a lovely label and a beautiful wine. And again, it's Reserve Tastings is the name of your company.
Yep.
Where people can actually get the wine.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to express about this rosé, Mindy, in musically?
She drinks a lot of it, so.
Look, I've drank a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is definitely an expert,
So,
so.
are you quality control?
Yes, yeah.
You could say that,
Oh,
yeah. I think I have 15 jobs, and 14 of those are quality control. No, it's fun to be in business together as a couple. It's like we've had fun being who we are and not changing that.
Yeah.
And he has spent his life running wineries and being a part of huge wineries, and I've spent my life making music. So when we started Reserve Tastings, it was wine and music. So he goes and finds these amazing wines because you guys all know where all that cool stuff is. I don't. But you guys talk in the geeky wine terms, and I love that. But I don't. I think in music terms. So when I look at a wine and taste a wine, I think of it as a musician would. So I look at it and go, oh my God, this is this beautiful, feminine wine, but yet it's still got body and it's got character. So to me, I was born in the summer of love. 1969, baby.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a total, kid, hippie,
And you have pictures of her dad. We don't have, we'll show some later, but I mean, we're talking like the bell bottoms and the big mutton chops coming down
that's
here. And he was
awesome.
skinny too. He was like a 110 pounds, 6 foot guy,
It was just a huge part of my
He
childhood.
looked 70s, man.
Was this music.
60s.
And so for this rosé, I just thought it had this life to it, this beauty to it. It breathed. It's that thing. So we called it Flower Child. We put the flowers on it. The playlist that I curated for it, it's all music of the late 60s and early 70s, and it's all just that feel good kind of dance around in loose clothes and have fun. So I think of it in music terms.
Now, did you all meet at a wine event or a music event?
Oh.
Or neither?
Us? Oh, geez. He's a very
Blind
famous,
date.
one of Mindy's good friends and musician friends, but Dave Cause. I was making wine for him. He had his own wine brand at Whole Foods. And the Whole Foods president asked me, like, hey, listen, I'd like you to make this wine a little bit better, to redo the labels. So I was working at a winery that we did private labels. Anyway, so I made his wine for him, and he hooked me up with her on a blind date.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Now,
that's the compressed
I think
story.
we have some photos. It's called Eric and Mindy.
Oh,
Let's see.
wait, there it is. All right, come on now.
That's classic.
That ain't cool.
Look at
Music
the
to
computer,
play
make
to
sure
the.
everything's okay.
Hey, I took those photos.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
It's a
Oh,
fun
Yeah. Look at that. Young. Look at that. We don't even know what we're
No,
into
you're
at
still,
that
you look
point.
exactly the same.
That's in a very famous studio, that one with us up against the records. That's called the Village Studios in Los Angeles. I mean, every famous musician who went through there. Oh, come on, really?
Superhero.
Really
action.
Halloween costumes.
Who's running the technical here? I got a word.
These are great.
You know what? We have fun together. Wine
George-
and music is pretty darn fun.
Those are fabulous. I love those.
George, were you behind any of those pictures, man?
I wish I was. I would have put the Harley in there. Where you're on the
Yeah,
Harley. That was
yeah,
good. I like
yes.
that one, man. So, Mindy, you said you curate you curate a bunch of songs around each release.
We come out with two unique wines 4 times a year. So we ship to our members 4 times a year. So it's up to us to find those wines and then to brand them with something music centric. A lot of times, I'll come up with the artwork, but we've had some super cool artists come up with it. But the music, every wine that we do, here's a great example. We had this, amazing Pinot Noir. And for me, it had this meat to it, but it was velvety and it was beautiful and it had this kind of glamour to it. For me, when I drank this wine, I wanted to hear soul music.
Right.
It had this just incredible grit to it, but with this beauty on the finish. And people like Sam Cooke or Aretha Franklin or Ray Charles, they've got that grit, and there's something to it, But then there's this beauty. So I think obviously in music terms. So the whole playlist was just all of that, it was stacks, and it's awesome.
I love the way you express yourself, because it reminds me, and Eric, I'm sure you can relate to this, and I know you can, Susie, that you speak the same way about like the wine and the music, exactly the way winemakers go, oh, this vineyard, you should have seen it. It was unbelievable. And sun was coming, and they're like moving like this, and so I could see how this comes together. I remember when Eric, you were telling me about this idea, this concept, and I was like, no one's done anything quite like what you guys are doing. It's very unique, right? Which is hard to be unique these days.
Yeah.
Tell Susie's audience a little bit more about Reserve Tastings, like how the program works and how you can join. And I know you're always doing something Facebook Live, and now you're doing a wine country tour. So tell people a little bit about that. 'Cause it's awesome.
So so it's a pairing wine and music, basically, both her and I, and so I could chase her around the world and go on tour with her. It's just a master plan. But it's not just wine too. We have festivals, and then we have a festival in Florida once a year that is a wine and music, jazz and wine festival, and we're looking to put together a few others. But also we have adventures where we go around the world and we bring a small group with us. So for example, in June we're coming into Healdsburg here to everybody's backyard, and we're gonna have 30 people with us and staying at a luxury hotel and just going to wineries and doing restaurants every day.
So you organize these trips for people.
Yeah.
And so is it for people in your wine club?
It's for anybody that wants to sign up, but our wine club gets first dibs.
Right.
But yeah.
My
And
sister can sign me up.
yeah, well, in Tuscany in November. So, and then every year we'll go someplace different. Rioja, we'll go to Auckland, and we'll go to Santa Barbara. We'll come back here. So it's more of a lifestyle. It's not just about the wine. It's about going to shows, drinking a lot of wine, and of course, going to see Mindy play with these big festivals and everything else. So it's really more of a lifestyle than it is just a little wine company.
Well, and to George's point, what's super cool about it is that it's organically unique. Like it's not unique because you thought, it'd be a great idea. Like it's
You were back in the
what
marketing
do.
department going, got an idea,
Exactly.
man.
An idea.
Music and wine.
Well,
it's like it's real.
You come up, you've been in the business for such a long time. Susie, for all of Mindy's fans and our fans out there, Susie is a legend in Healdsburg, a legend in Sonoma in terms of her wines, and we want to introduce her wines to
You
everybody
stay around
here.
long enough.
Yeah, right. And I lived in
Power
Healdsburg
in
for a long
winemaking.
time, and she's if you don't know Susie Selby Winery, you got to come by Selby Winery here in Healdsburg. Look it up online. But we come up with all kinds of goofy label ideas, like gorilla this and tree that and flying bird. I'm like, nothing's authentic, but this is authentic to us. To your point, this is real to us. We could get behind this and speak passionately about it. So
Well, it's like if we're drinking a bottle of wine at home or wherever in the world we happen to be, I'm constantly pairing music with it. Oh, come on, let's put on this, or let's put on some Dave Matthews with this. It feels, the wine just feels like it's got this thing, and we figured if we like to do that, other people would. So
It's a lot of
I'm
people.
glad other people have liked to do it.
Honestly, it's very consistent with what the whole marketing buzzword these days around wine is all about the experience, right? Experiential marketing, right? And so that's taking it to a whole nother level, right?
Yeah.
It's like we've all done the tour, and they're great, right? Go in the barrel room and you go in the vineyard, you do this, but now you layer on the music on top of that. It's like, whoa.
Well, it's
that's
you
an
get to experience the passion.
Yeah.
Because your passion combines so synergistic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, he just keeps me drunk, so it's super easy to just,
It's like
As we know, right? We all have a lot of wine in our house.
Stockholm
so
syndrome. Just
I need it's a minimum of 50 cases in my house. I mean, we have like furniture built out of cases of wine, We don't use
but we should do that. That'd be awesome, right?
What? Furniture built out of yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and that's true. Just keep her drunk most of the time.
Sure, why not?
It's
Rock
not
and
hard
roll. Woo!
So, can I have a little bit more of the rosé? Is that
Yes,
right?
I was just about to offer you
Yeah,
some.
just a little bit more. I like our wine. That's the other thing too. Is I work for a lot of wineries. We don't always like all the wine that we make, or So this is.
I'll take a little more.
Yeah, I'll take a little bit more.
Well, yeah. Nice.
I'm a little pouring music.
Well, and of course, if you're not selling it, you want to drink it.
Absolutely.
So it's the backup plan.
Well, that's the beauty about the wine business too,
Love that.
right? Is that if you're into any other business, if you can't sell software, what are you going to do with it? Can't sell wine? We drink it. Ship it into the house and start drinking it. So you gotta like it. You gotta make sure you like it. So.
I don't think we're gonna have a problem selling this one.
oh, this is delicious.
It's just
How many
perfect.
cases did you make?
Oh, that only 75 cases. It's that tiny.
75.
Wow.
Well,
It's
people
only that
need
tiny.
to get on it
Yep,
with
it's that
this
tiny.
one.
That's the thing with our membership. It's very tiny.
Just comes and goes then.
Comes and goes. We want to sell out within months, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the goal. Yeah.
So you find special lots and then
And sometimes they're already in bottle. Most of them. Sometimes they're in tank and put them in bottle, but whatever. But we want to taste the finished wine. We really don't want to be in the winemaking process.
Right.
We're more of if it's finished and we love it, then we'll take a little chunk and do it on our. We've had Napa Chardonnays. We've had a Howell Mountain Cab that's coming out soon. We had an Oakville Cab that we just sold out of. So we've been able to find some really special things.
Howell Mountain Cab. That's a fun.
I know. Only 10 cases of that, and that's going to be launched in
10
fall.
cases.
10
That's
cases.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
But a
so
portion of that goes to a
exclusive.
charity organization. So every wine, and it's Music Cares, which is a very special foundation for Mindy and the Grammy, the Recording Academy.
Yeah, we choose
So.
a couple wines a year that aren't our normal club shipment that are super high end, and we'll
Yeah.
give a portion of the proceeds to Music Cares, which is the outreach, the charitable outreach of the Recording Academy that puts on the Grammys. And
Yeah.
so I was a national trustee for the Recording Academy for many years. So it's close to my heart. So anything we can do that helps out, musicians, they don't have 401ks and
Right.
insurance plans, group insurance or any of that. So just to have a safety net for musicians, I think it's great. If we can sell wine and keep people happy, keep people drinking through the pandemic and beyond,
Yeah.
Yes.
and give money to a great cause that we know it's helping out good people making good music, that's making the planet better.
And you guys probably meet a lot of people, but the one thing I've found really interesting being in with Mindy and meeting all these famous musicians, how many musicians are into wine? You got the
Yeah.
musicians that rocked a little too hard early on and maybe they don't drink anymore, but how many musicians are not just wine people, but they're like wine geeks, like we're hearing,
Yeah.
basketball
Oh, yeah.
people now are and everything. But some of these musicians are over-the-top wine collectors.
It's absolutely true.
Isn't it true? I mean, and it's really, really great. And they get it.
It is.
They really get
I
it.
remember being excited when I found out ZZ Top was drinking my Chardonnay.
Oh, you didn't?
How cool
I
is
mean,
that?
I'm saying it was the first time I thought, wow, musicians. You don't really picture musicians, but yeah, they're extremely passionate
So-
about wine.
We met Billy Gibbons one time, and he could not be the coolest dude you've ever met in your life. He, ZZ Top guy, right?
Yeah.
Just like you would expect, right? Like
The coolest guy, wore his glasses.
Rock
Oh,
star.
and by the way, what did he do? He showed us one thing. He didn't show us pictures of his kids and everything. He pulled out his phone and showed us a picture of the famous ZZ Top car in the 80s videos.
Yeah.
He owns it. He says there's a bunch of them, but he owns the original.
Well, I asked
And he
him,
pulled it
'cause,
out,
he's got so many cars that, speaking of things he collects and loves, whatever,
Right.
he did a whole thing at the Peterson Auto Museum in Los Angeles. I mean, it was floors and floors
Of his cars.
His cars, and
Yeah.
they were all just souped up. So I had to, I know it's not the usual girl thing to do, but I was like, let's talk about your cars. This is so cool. So when you're there with me, we're gonna let's talk about wine.
That's pretty awesome that he loves your wine. That's really great.
That's
No,
super
it was
cool.
just fun. Well, and there are a lot of winemakers who are completely into music. Bob Cabral collects guitars.
Oh, does he really?
Yes, he does.
Wow.
He has a guitar collection, and there are just a lot of. Actually, I think most of the winemakers I know really love music.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm in this band.
You play.
Well, I'm the drummer. I should be the backup, but I'm actually the primary. My backup does most of the playing.
Yeah.
And my sister, who's here, is the saxophone player.
I know.
And
That's
I know
right.
you guys.
famous Michael Deloge is our lead singer. So it's a fun little band.
Do you have a band name?
Yes, for Vertical Flight.
Very nice.
Oh,
Get it?
I get it.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted,
Awesome.
I've got to ask this. Are you the first female saxophone player to ever get a Grammy?
I've not won a
Okay,
Grammy.
to be nominated for a Grammy.
I don't know.
I don't
bet
know.
you
That's a great
are.
question. I don't.
I have no
Jeez.
idea. You know what? There are a few of us out there doing our things, you know.
It's just,
Yeah.
you always notice female musicians when they're doing something that's
They're doing something
traditionally
awesome.
male.
Yep.
I
Like
just love that.
Carlos Santana's now wife was a drummer for Lenny Kravitz. Now she's in Carlos's band. I forget her name.
Cindy Blackman.
Cindy Blackman
She's
is
amazing.
a badass drummer. Yeah, and
so amazing.
yeah, she's outstanding. So it is. Yeah, it is great when you see women musicians that typically I love more than watching the men.
Well, I just think it's fun because when we met, we were talking just about, are there a bunch of women in wine? Are there a bunch of women in music? And I think that it's just nice to know each other and be together. And I always uplift, the women that I find because, it's not the usual thing. And so I always think that it's fun to kind of stick together and cheer each other on.
Absolutely.
And do our thing. And,
Yeah.
you have
the
to.
girl power. I know we also have some footage on you, Mindy, and I believe you're
Is this-
playing. Oh, here,
is this
look
your-
at that.
this is
Look
your
how
life?
beautiful you are
Ah.
for your
Yeah, she looked good that night.
nomination.
Fabulous.
Little
you go.
little Grammy night.
That's
Ah,
in
there's
Seattle?
the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at Jazz Alley in Seattle,
Oh, I love that.
rocking out.
Oh, that's party at our house.
Yeah, I think
It
so. That was
is.
my birthday.
Yeah. Before COVID, we used to have awesome birthday parties at our house that you guys have to come down to. It's just awesome.
So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
this past year had to be tough for you, right? I mean, as a musician, right? You're like just put it in park and like sit tight. I know you did a lot of stuff online, so I watched a bunch of like on the front porch or the back
Yeah,
porch,
yeah.
which is so cool.
Yeah.
It was one I saw the other day. It was so great with the two girls that were up there with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Katie Gillan and the
Katie-
Drive.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that was awesome.
It's
Unbelievable
basically
talent.
Whoa.
all girl blues band, and just sitting on my porch and just rocking out.
Oh
Yeah.
my
The
gosh.
neighbors were kind of hanging over the fence.
I think about the
They
neighbors
love
sometimes. I
it.
go,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not just letting it rip, man.
Well-
So I guess the neighbors are cool with it too. I don't
Hollywood is very loud, so just to add something beautiful underneath all the helicopters and everything is not a bad thing. Actually, yeah.
Helicopters.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But they do hear it.
To
Yeah.
speak to your question, look, I was in the studio recording a new record when all of this happened and the world was shutting down. And we were all in just, this beautiful space of making music.
And who's one of the backup singers?
all right. Yeah,
This is-
Steve Perry is.
Oh my God.
He was
Yeah.
in the studio when we were
It's
recording.
nice.
Little Bay Area
He
love,
wasn't,
right
he wasn't
there.
planned. He just floated in.
Well, no, he
and-
wasn't.
Yeah, no. He's
I didn't hire
He's
him.
retired,
You
yeah.
can't hire him. You can't
Can't
pay him to
Yeah.
sing. He
Does
doesn't.
he drink wine?
He doesn't. No.
No.
I
No.
think he probably drank enough early on to
Yeah,
make
yeah, I
up
think he's-
as many of my friends that it bums him out that
We're
so
all-
many of my friends
we're
have
all still
stopped
catching
drinking.
up to him, I think. Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just came in and hung out, and he ended up singing on a couple songs, and it's him.
fabulous.
He's-
Cool, man.
All right, sorry,
He's
you were saying though
incredible.
about your tour schedule
He's
last year.
Yeah, but
Just-
now you're back. You start
Yeah.
big stall, but now you're starting. You were in Florida, right? I'm like, what?
Yeah, nothing happened for a year. We basically, had everything poof disappear. But the world is starting up again. I mean, thank goodness that people drank through the pandemic, because we started our wine and
Tell
music
me about
business
it.
right
Yeah, right.
before the pandemic,
Right.
and people drank and kept
yeah.
us going. Whereas in music, you know, I was pretty much chained to. I know it's like raining
Yeah, I know, it's
flowers.
raining.
It's awesome, by the way. This is great.
It's the rosé.
It's Flower Child. It's raining flowers. So yeah, the world is coming back, and we're drinking
Well,
and playing music
and
now.
By the way, we are all vaccinated.
Yep.
As
Yes.
we sit here without our masks.
Yep, all vaccinated. Yep.
We're so fortunate to be in this
Yes,
wonderful country where
Feels
we have
great.
access and everything else.
it feels
Yeah.
great. And
But yes, your
Yeah.
timing on wine was perfect. People were cooking and enjoying wine, and I honestly think an appreciation level for wine, and especially a brand like yours, was bigger. It wasn't just about alcohol consumption; it was
Yeah.
about enjoying what you're having. And
did you
Yeah.
find that through your wine as well? I mean,
I was shocked, Eric, when we sent out our first wine club shipment. I assumed that 50% would drop out or lose, and it increased.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. People would call and say, "Can I add toothpaste?" And I'm like, "Are you sure about this? I don't know if you should be spending this much on wine."
Yeah.
No.
and everybody, learned that there was a lot of people that bought wine online, but there was a whole group of people that never did that, and they learned that they could,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how easy we make it for them, and how easy it is to buy wine right from the winery, right off your webpage. So that, I think, was the greatest thing for the wine industry over the last year, that we're all connecting in new ways, and that people feel like
Yeah.
they don't have to come to Healdsburg to buy your wine. They actually can buy it, and send it home.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, you're right. It's changed people's buying habits. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, but you know what? We do want them to still come to Healdsburg.
Oh yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
So
of
please
course.
come. No,
Yes.
but you know what? You're right. It's like just people's comfort level with. It kind of reminds me like when you first got like the ATM card. People are like, I don't know about that thing. I'll just go into the bank.
Dude's
You're like, okay.
Dude is dating
online-
himself right now.
Yeah, I know. Online banking.
I
no
remember
thanks.
when Kid and Play came out. I got to pick fun.
Hey man, you know what? But it's the world is changing. You know,
Yeah,
in some
yeah,
ways, it's taking a few steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think I just think in general, think of the things we appreciate just being here together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
The
Cheers
fact
to that.
we weren't able to do those
Yeah.
things.
Sorry.
Now, go on.
sorry, I was gonna up layer on with it. Like I just started hugging people again.
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking
Does it
about
feel
that.
good?
It feels great.
Yeah.
I gave Eric the biggest hug.
Well, it's just me. I know. I did. I haven't
I'm
hugged.
different. I'm your wife.
Yeah, I know.
You're
right?
supposed to hug
But
me.
other than the kids and your significant others, yeah, we started hugging people too. We just had that discussion the other day.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
The migraine. We started with the back, the elbow.
Yeah.
Remember? Then you were brave. You do a fist bump. You know. And
were brave.
and
For
now
a
we're
while, it
hugging
was
up.
the air elbow.
Yeah, just the air elbow or the air hug.
It's
Well.
crazy to even think we spent a year doing that, over a year.
over.
Now, we have another fabulous wine of yours
What?
that I'm very excited to try.
With an awesome label.
Awesome label.
That one took a lot out of
Evil is
us.
Soul.
Yes.
Now, tell us about this as I pour it for us
So,
to taste.
so this
I have to
is
throw it
Monterey
out.
Pinot Noir, and again, like rosés, we find that everybody out there probably knows this, or wine lovers, that there's some wines like Cabs and Zinfandels. You can find degrees of good, excellent, not so great, but you can find degrees in the middle. But there's a few varietals we found, like the rosé, but like Pinot Noir. To us, there's two camps, two very sophisticated wine geeky camps of Pinot Noir. Really good or really bad.
No.
Really?
That's it.
So it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's it.
have the same sliding scale
No,
that you gave
no.
to
It's,
rosé.
to me, Mindy.
It's a cliff.
It's a-
Yeah,
It's a cliff.
it's a cliff. I can see it in Mindy's face when we try it. It's either like she does the Don Corleone, or no. So this Pinot is a very
No, it's-
special.
Next.
Next, yeah. So this is a very special 2019 Pinot Noir. This is from Monterey County, Santa Lucia Highlands. As you guys know, it's kind of like the filet mignon of Monterey. Unfiltered, earthy. It's got all that mushroom in it, but also that bright fruit, all that kind of earthiness. And it's something that I know Mindy loves. She loves this style of Pinot Noir, so it's
I'm-
perfect.
Now forget about the wine notes. Look at the label.
Yeah.
The label is like all those 45s that you bought that
Yeah.
you love. That it's like you I don't know.
Cool, man.
You just look back and it brings it all back. And the music, the playlist for this. is killer. It's it's Sam Cooke, it's Booker T and the MGs, it's all this cool stacks.
I like the label's great. I love
Thank
the
you.
Embossing on
The
it.
ridges, yeah.
Feel it. Can I play a little Sam Cooke?
Yeah.
Just give a little,
Oh,
a
yes.
little
Set the mood, man.
music.
Set
Feel,
the
Okay.
mood.
feel the
Do it, man.
Pinot.
drink it in,
Drink it in.
and know that this is a little soul music, a little Sam Cooke.
All right.
Never heard anyone,
Take-
right?
Take us
Lean
away.
to your left a little bit.
Lean to my left a little bit.
Yeah, look at the camera. Yay! Woo!
Hi.
There you go. The nice people
I'm like,
want. The nice people want to see
"Huh?"
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, soul music.
Little soul, little Sam
I
Cooke.
can feel the Pinot.
Yeah, right.
Feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we were just talking about Steve Perry, and that was if you listen to Sam Cooke getting music geeky, and then you listen to a Steve Perry, Journey song, they could be brothers, and that's how Steve got his voice really through Sam Cooke, is what he told us.
Well, I don't know what he told us. He got it from Sam Cooke, but I had to ask him. I'm like,
Oh, he said.
you listen to Sam Cooke. I mean, do you ask those questions of your winemaker friends? Like, how did you get the inspiration for that, or who did you look up to? I had to ask that question of
What were
Steve
you
Perry.
thinking?
Yeah, well, it's a good or bad, right?
What on earth were you thinking?
Right?
I ask those questions.
Honestly, I promise you I'm not humoring you right now. This Pinot has a lot of depth and layers, and it really is reflective of the music you're playing. Most Pinots are not it's substantial, but it still has varietal integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it's Pinot, but it's bigger.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice.
it's got a lot of body to it. It's unfiltered, as you can kind of tell a little bit by looking through the glass there. And so it has a little bit more of that grit to it and that body to it. But that's why we love it. We love Pinots that have a little bit more there.
I love like more full body Pinot for
Yeah.
me. That's the way to go, right? There's just so many thin
Yeah.
excuses out there, but to me, this is like
Excuses.
He just says
love
it, doesn't
it.
he?
I
He
love
just
it.
goes.
I may have one of those thin excuses, mister.
Well, that's what I love about George. She growing up in New Jersey, man. Tells it like it is. Right?
Right.
think about what I say after I say it.
And then us Jersey guys have to usually apologize the next morning. So it's,
Yeah.
like, did I really say that? I got to call George up and apologize.
They're like, hey, no offense, but they're like,
Yeah.
okay, nothing good
So
comes
I
after
swear
that.
it's the Viva La Soul talking.
But if we're not offending people, that means we don't love them. I mean, so
But I would also say about this Pinot that this is the cool style right now too. I mean, this is what people want.
Yeah, the kind of the bigger, richer Pinot style. You think so, huh?
Richer, definitely.
I would like to say that we
Definitely.
planned that, but that just happened. Yeah.
Oh no, it's
No, we
beautiful.
like that, so that's what
thank
we're
you.
gonna
Yeah.
go
Oh,
after.
that's right, because you have to drink it.
Yeah.
Hey, if this is gonna be an our wine club, yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have it around the
We have to
house.
drink
It's
it,
gotta
yeah.
be something we love.
Yeah.
I mean,
What other current wines do you have? Just out of curiosity, what varietals?
So we have, well, we just sold out of a whole bunch, but we have a San Ynez Valley Viognier, and you guys know, right? And a lot of people around the country, you find those few people that love Viognier that know it, but most people, it's a sweet wine that they'll buy at Publix or Kroger or whatever. High-end, really fine-level Viogniers are unbelievable, right? They're not sweet, they're dry, but they have that brightness to them, that white flower, that beauty to them, that papaya, whatever it is. Honey, so we have a San Ynez Valley Viognier we call Notes because of all the
Oh,
beautiful
nice.
notes in it, right?
Like
Yeah.
that.
And
yeah, we
we
paired
have
it with a bunch of Baroque
Oh,
music.
a bunch of
so
Baroque
the
music.
playlist
Oh, you
is
did?
Yeah, yeah.
rock,
Yes.
and well, you'd appreciate that because you play piano, and I
Yeah.
saw in there you've got some Baroque music on the piano.
Yeah, Baroque music.
you creeping around Susie's house.
Yes, I am.
That's fine.
And then we have a really fantastic Dry Creek Zinfandel. but we called it the Theory of Joy, and we don't have the bottle here, but if you go on our website and see it, the label is a note, is a poem, if you will, a note from Mindy and I to our club members, and it's all about the theory of joy, that we make all this beautiful wine, we make all this beautiful music, and then the people out there buy the wine, listen to the music, and it becomes full circle, that we just feed off of each other, and that's the theory of joy, that we get joy because of what we do, and then they get joy because they get to drink our wine and listen to our music.
It
So,
seemed like the pandemic thing to do, because you're sitting home realizing that, wow, we all need each other so much. So yeah, we kind of had to write a love letter to our club members, and
we did it right on the label.
Art
That's
is
cool.
sometimes
It is
words.
cool.
Art
Yeah.
is lettering, and so we
And-
set it on the thing.
And the playlist was what, like,
Wow, it's like
Yes.
a little
I
loud.
like cueing her that way.
And the label. So it's all songs of joy, and we used ZZ Top. We did
Yeah.
Thank You.
Yeah, we
which,
did.
You know, it's an
Nice.
old Sam and Dave song, but we loved ZZ Top's version. But I think you're gonna know this one.
All right, go ahead.
Joy to the world. You sing it with me. Oh, the boys and girls. I said joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. I said joy to you and me.
Right on, man.
It is so
There you go.
ironic that you sang that song. That was our father's favorite song.
Really?
And,
Yeah.
and he passed away in 97, and
Oh.
the organist played it at his funeral. And it was a very beautiful moment.
Wow.
I
So-
love that. Well, it was meant to be, right?
Yeah.
We never talked about that. We didn't know that.
Yeah, right?
Little Three Dog Night.
I
It's
know.
a joyful
I know,
thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was a special moment. Thank you, Missy.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
We'll thank the wine.
And again, for all the people that are on Mindy's, social media pages right now, and our wine company's social media pages, please come. What's your URL? Your website?
Oh, Selby Winery.
SelbyWinery.com. I can attest for this. I've been drinking her wine for a long, long time, and and I don't want to embarrass you. She's a legend in Sonoma, and if not in wine business, so please go to Susie's site and buy her wine, please.
Oh, that's kind of you.
You're welcome.
And
Drink.
your reserve tasting
ReserveTastings.com.
wine.
Just
ReserveTastings.com.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
You know what I love about your club model is, and listen, wineries have their own wine clubs, and it's great, but it's like you kind of get the 2017s in, the 2018s in, you get this, and so,
yeah.
you guys are really, as part of the experience, it's like you're turning people on to different varietals
Yeah.
that they might not have had.
Like the Viognier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We had so many people come to us and say, I didn't know I loved Viognier.
Regions,
Right.
different regions that
Yep.
they may, hey,
Pinot from Monterey, Pinot
Yeah.
from Carneros. Yeah.
that's
Well,
very cool.
Yeah.
And even like two of the regions you've discussed, Hell Mountain Cabernet
Yeah.
and Cabernet Sauvignon and Dry Creek Zinfandel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say very often, but you pretty much can't go wrong with those varietals in those regions.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just spectacular.
Right.
Those regions were made for those varietals. So I love that you have the regional
Yeah.
focus.
We're definitely trying to hold to the what each region is known and beautiful for. We're not about kind of beating down the bushes on something crazy. And our rosé, as you guys know, Sonoma Coast.
Right.
Which Sonoma Coast to me is one of the probably the most brilliant appellations in the world. It's huge, but the certain parts of it and where that comes from, down by the Petaluma Gap, which is where a lot of a lot cooler than it is here, but not that far of a drive.
Right.
It's just a brilliant place to grow Pinot Noir for a rosé. That brightness that we love in lighter white wines.
Look, he never gets
So-
a second glass on there.
Oh,
He never drinks that at home.
He never drinks it at home.
I've seen George do some crazy.
George never has a
crazy
second
things.
cup of
Coffee.
Wow.
Listen, we're friends,
We all
so I'm
look
gonna
the
keep it.
same.
I'm gonna keep it public, so.
Oh,
So, well, yeah, and so that's what, and we have a Rutherford Sauvignon Blanc coming out in the fall, and it's just been amazing that we've been able to find these wines at the highest level of winemaking artistry that we really truly want to showcase, because the winemakers that we choose these wines from, we can't talk about them. They're kind of unknown, if you will, but we still want to.
They're very well known as what the situation
some are, some are just struggling winemakers that made a great wine and can't sell it because nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
So we're here to help them.
Didn't you write a book on that? How to market wine?
Yeah, well, I wrote a book on
That's
it. too,
right.
So, yeah.
Eric, tell
did
everybody
you
about
really?
he wrote a book. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote a book. I got bored one 6-month period that I was off, and I wrote a
He
book.
became a hermit and just.
It's called When Great Wine Is Not Enough. So I've managed so many big and small wineries where, people start a winery with, there's a lot of people that maybe come into the business and they'll spend a lot of money on a winery, they'll spend a lot of money on a winemaker, an extraordinaire, and they won't spend a lot of money on people like us.
Build a castle.
Yeah, build a castle, build a moat, whatever it is. But they don't hire a marketing and salesperson. This is kind of geeky business. Sorry. But I say that in the beginning, when you build a wine brand, and if it's a negociant wine brand, it doesn't have to be a winery. It could be anything. But when you build a winery or a wine brand, hire a marketing and salesperson with the winemaker. A famous winemaker, if you're into that or not, whatever it is, hire a sales and marketing person well before you sell the first bottle.
Well, yes.
How many people do we
Yes.
know that make amazing wine and nobody knows who they are? Right, because it can't sell a bottle.
No,
They never
that's-
think about that.
And people really don't think about it when they get in the wine industry.
They don't think about how hard it is to sell
I was
great
a
wine.
salesperson
Yeah.
who learned how to make
Yeah.
wine, which is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still in business 20 years later.
You were in
It's
sales.
hard.
You learned to
Oh, I
survive
learned sales.
before you made the
Yes.
wine. Yeah.
And not to sell wine necessarily, but sales is sales. But so your book,
Unbelievably hard.
is it something available for people?
Yeah, it's on Amazon
Oh, good. And
and
tell me
available
the name
around the
again.
world. It's called When Great Wine Is Not Enough.
I love that title.
When great wine is not enough, because
It's not.
again, we've
not.
sit around as wine people and have incredible bottles, and we look at it and go, I never heard of this damn winery before.
I know.
Where is this from? And
Yeah.
we know every corner of every acre. So it's in an effort to help the wineries around the world, really. I mean, Amazon's brilliant with that. It's been translated into whatever it is, 20 languages, and sold around the world. And I love that. I see Italian winemakers and Spanish winemakers that bought my little book to maybe learn, that you got to focus on this side of things as much as the wine.
I'd say more so.
Maybe more so nowadays. Maybe more so, because there's a lot of really great wine out there,
Yeah.
and you have to have people love you as much as the wine.
Was it translated into different languages?
Yeah, Amazon does that
Oh,
for you.
wow.
We all live in
So
Jeff, we
Amazon.
all live in Jeff Bezos' world, don't we? So yeah,
Yeah.
it gets translated for you in all those languages. Yeah.
Well, we use,
Anyway.
with Wine Industry Network, we put on conferences, and
Oh yeah.
whenever I can get Eric to come and moderate or get in front of our audience, like he's my go-to guy, right?
Because you can't shut me the hell up.
No, he's good. I'll tell you a funny story. When I first met Eric, it was actually, I was working for Jim Beam. They had a wine division. Eric was with Allied Domecq, and then we were coming together for our first national sales meeting together,
Yeah, that's right.
And we didn't know each other at that point. And I was managing one of the brands. Wild Horse was that was brand manager for Wild Horse. And,
Monterey, right?
down in Atascadero, near Paso Robles.
Right, Paso.
And,
Sorry, okay.
and
Beautiful.
this guy, Eric Guerra, right? Now, they said, this guy's from Jersey too, you're going to love him. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see. I probably will. But
It will be unfortunate if
So,
it's not a good
so we all,
Jersey boy.
so we all have to do like our presentations in front of this combined meeting, and
Oh man.
so I was, I was kind of like, I felt pretty like decent about going up on stage,
Yeah.
and I go up and I think I have to go. Oh, they come out and Eric has to go before me, right? So I'm like, okay, it's cool. I get to check out like the guy that's going to go, and I want to see what I'm dealing with here, right? Because I'm a very competitive person.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
So he was speaking right before you?
So he goes up and presents. He's managing
He was the opening
Mom
act.
Napa.
yeah, I was
And he
managing
goes up on
Mom at
stage
the
and it
time,
was
yeah.
just like, he was just like pumping up the crowd and like, hey,
Tony
everybody,"
Robbins,
just like
right?
he is
Yeah.
right there. Tony Robbins, just like he is right now. And I was like,
And then
then every bit of conference I had left just
Get out of here.
just basically
Killed
like
it.
left away. And I said, I'm like,
drop was he go
hi,
on
I'm,
stage?
my name is George Christie. I'm the brand manager for Wild Horse.
Oh,
It's very nice.
all right,
to
so I know
meet you."
this
This
is-
guy crushed me. It was
That was
unbelievable.
not true.
I know this is
Do you
rated
wanna
G
see-
right now,
Do you
but
wanna see my PowerPoint?
that's bullshit. Obviously he's very successful for a reason, but
He really was intimidating. I was like, This
if you
guy's
manage Mum
unbelievable.
Napa, it's hard not to get excited. That is sparkling wine, right? I mean, sparkling wine is unbelievable. So if you do a good sparkling wine like Mum did and Guy DeVoe did back in the 80s, and he created that Rutherford little winery, you got to get excited about that.
Okay, just as a wife,
gotta get
I'm going to say it's so sexy to have a guy talk about champagne. I know I'm married to him. I've been with him almost 10 years.
He's
but
very
it's
sexy.
Super
I'm
sexy to
attracted
have a
to
guy
him.
be like,
I'm
champagne
attracted.
is amazing.
Take
and
note, ladies.
So impressed.
Take note.
be older, wiser,
We're
marry
married,
a
man.
wine
We're
guy.
good. We're married.
Especially a wine guy who loves champagne. Like, what are you doing?
Well, thank you, man. And that was the one thing that I love talking about wine. I just think it's the most brilliant thing in the world, and I'll never retire. You know, people ask us, she'll never retire. We're
not working.
What does retirement
We're not
mean?
working.
This
just
is our
living.
lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you guys
So-
are great together.
No, thank you.
I
Very
know.
passionate,
Thank
right?
you
They're
for
very.
us being here.
No.
We have
It's like
fun.
the perfect storm.
And-
Yeah.
And you've created a passionate product.
Oh yeah.
Taste the passion.
Yeah. Well, and it's like this little town of Healdsburg. You know, I mean, it's just a little culture of people like you guys. It's what we love about it. It's excellence at the highest level: wine, food, people, architecture, art,
Raining flowers.
raining flowers.
Raining flowers.
But it is as beautiful as everybody believes it to be. It really is. When people come to wine country and come to Selby, you're like, oh, this is great. It's even better. I mean, our business is hard. You get lost in it. But that 1% that you're on stage like this, drinking this wine, it just makes everything right. And I can't believe that we do this for a living.
How
I
many,
can't believe.
How many? I just was thinking about your background. How many different wines? Like, how many bottles of wine in your career do you think you've tasted? Have you ever thought about that? It must be thousands.
Well, I've actually counted how many I've been part of selling, which has been close to 30 million cases at this point. But tasted, I guess, I don't know, like thousands?
So
Yeah.
my point is, as a negociant brand, you've got to have an amazing palate.
Well,
And,
she
and,
actually
and
really
you have, but you have
I
the
trust him.
breadth of experience
Yeah.
with all these different.
Well, that's a really good, interesting thing. I didn't until I worked as more of a negociant. When you work for a winery, we taste all our own wines all the time,
Yeah.
right?
And you figure out how to sell it as opposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're tasting your same vineyards, you're tasting your same wines, and when you work for a company that's got a bigger breadth to it, yeah, we go, well, for our little wine company, we go through 300 wines a year to choose only 8.
Yeah.
Only
It's
8.
really quite a job.
Only
You taste.
I'm sure you have
three-
samples pumping in
Yeah.
all the time, right? I mean,
Yeah, but we only go after the ones that are the highest end ones,
Yeah.
because you can get bulk samples and all that stuff, but we go after the highest end ones, yeah.
We have fun.
You mentioned a Healdsburg tour early. In
Yeah.
this. What do you mean by that exactly?
Why don't you take that, because,
I'll take that.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll take that.
Sure.
Okay, so we decided we love to travel. I tour all the time, and we wanted to take people we loved and see the world and kind of see it through the glasses of wine and food and music, right? We don't want to go somewhere and drink Coors Light. We want to go somewhere and drink great wine and go someplace where we can learn something and go someplace beautiful. But we
Or-
want to experience it with some friends.
I'll have Pliny the Elder, though, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A
Well,
little
yeah.
Russian River Brewing Company, but
That's not Coors Light.
No, no,
yeah.
I just
We'll
want
wander off the path.
Yeah, a little
huh?
bit, right?
You know.
We'll indulge.
So we decided to create our own. Like I created my own festival down in Punta Gorda, Florida, because I wanted to curate the music. I wanted to get artists I loved, that I believed in.
Yep.
And I didn't want to drink crappy beer and wine. I didn't want a $5 glass of wine. That is not the festival I would create.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when we got together and thought, okay, if we could create, we called it an adventure, where we could go with 30 or 40 people that we think are awesome, that we could go drink great wine, introduce them to amazing food, amazing experiences. I could play for them every night. Our first thought was Healdsburg.
Yeah.
And literally it
Nice.
felt like a year away until now it's a month away.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh,
doing
that's
it
exciting.
June 6th through 10th, and we're going to come to Healdsburg. Right now we have 30 people booked.
Yeah.
And we're going to stay at H2, and he has literally put together this incredible itinerary going to different wineries. Some of them are friends of ours, some of them aren't.
One of them is Siani. that
One of them
George
is
part of.
Siani. Yeah. George, you're a partner. We've got Randy Ullum coming in
nice.
from Kendall Jackson
Chefs,
to do a special tasting with us.
We've
But it's friends.
we blackmailed Goldschmidt to doing something for us. Nick Goldschmidt,
Right, yeah.
Oh, nice.
famous multi-continent winemaker
Yep.
Absolutely.
that we know is a great beer
He's
drinker
so shy, though.
extraordinaire.
Shameless.
Yep, yep.
He's very shy. We're gonna have to bring him out of his shell.
Yeah.
But we can share his world of wine and our friends and these wines and this amazing town and just have fun with friends for 5 days and experience it all together. What a great excuse to kind of get together and just overdo it for 5 days with the food and wine and
Again,
music.
it's a big ruse just for us to go really cool places with a lot of people.
We're doing it in Tuscany as well in November.
We're going to be
so.
in Siena, Tuscany, and going out to Montepulciano one day, Montalcino one day.
Is there a cheese farm?
And we're going to a Pecorino farm
That's
one day.
right.
So yeah,
That sounds good.
so that's the whole idea there. Anyway, so it's going to be awesome.
Have
It's
more
gonna be
fun,
great.
right?
So should people, if they want to learn more about these trips, should they go to your website at Reserve Tasting?
Yep, we got two websites. So Reserve Tastings is the wine
Tastings,
company.
I'm so sorry, S on the end.
That's it. You have Reserve Tastings. You just type that in. It'll come up in Google, and MindyAbear.com as well. Not only can-
MindyAbear.com.
.com.
And just
So
go to
on the screen.
Adventures or Wine.
For wine and see Mindy's tour schedule and everything else. So
Yeah, we
we've
actually
got a
have
big tour schedule
shows.
coming up.
Oh my gosh, we're playing shows in front of real people.
And on
Yeah.
Facebook,
Still raining
you guys
flowers.
always have something going on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, which is great.
Always got people coming over to my porch to
Yeah,
play.
of course, I
So
love
Well,
that.
the other night, so we have Tuesday shows on Facebook, and if you want to be one of the great amount of people that come in and see us, we had Bill Champlin on the other night, which you guys know from Chicago, and he sang in some of the greatest love ballads of all time, in A Hard Habit to Break,
oh yeah.
and he's just a
Yeah.
brilliant guy. So we have people like that just stop by and play on the porch with Mindy.
Yeah, Ellis Hall from Tower of Power sang with Tower of Power for
Yeah.
7 years, and
Well,
yeah,
you must
Dave
have a
Paz.
lot of friends in the hood who are in the industry, correct?
Well, that is, Hollywood's kind of crazy right now. It's kind of become this just nutty place during the pandemic. It's not serene and, peaceful and raining flowers like Healdsburg.
Yeah.
But there are amazing musicians there and so many friends that, I can kind of call and
Thank
say,
you.
hey, do you want to come over to the porch? I know someone who can pour you some great wine.
Yeah.
And, we'll take care of you and let's just play a few songs together. So no one said no yet.
We've had 45 shows, and a couple of them, one of them went over well over 100,000 people came in. It was just unbelievable. So it was with Dave Koz, the jazz musician.
Well,
So
the guy who introduced us, you
Yes.
got to have him over to the porch.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, you
yeah.
must.
He married us on our porch, so.
He's ordained and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got married on your porch?
Yeah, come on. It was great.
Sounds like quite a porch.
So
It's small, but you know what? It does the trick.
So once a year, Mindy has, before the pandemic, once a year Mindy has this incredible birthday party.
Yeah.
She just drags, 100, 150 people out, and it's all music industry people and all these incredible people. So we just had a birthday party for Mindy, her 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it all, we disappeared and we came back and we had a pop-up wedding. Nobody knew, other than our family, that they were going to be in the middle of a wedding. So everybody started crying almost immediately. We had great musicians singing songs, and we got married amongst the people that we love. It was quite unbelievable.
Well, we didn't want to look. I dress up to go on stage. I didn't
Yeah.
want a big poofy dress, And we were planning my 50th birthday party, and I was just like, "Come on, we're gonna have 150 people in our little, backyard. Let's just have fun. We'll be in t-shirts and jeans, and then, let's change into wedding clothes and just do it with our closest friends. No one has to dress up.
Did you?
We
change
told them
it-
to just bring
Yeah.
a bottle of
Did you change
wine,
into a wedding
Yeah,
dress?
I did.
Yeah, we did. We got
and it was not a poofy white dress.
no.
It was a silver, awesome dress.
Girlfriend doesn't wear white. White went out the door
I
a
saw
long
the
time ago.
photos. I'm not concerned about how that dress looked.
No, a long time ago. I mean, but we had, name drop. We had Elvira was there.
Yeah.
Nancy Cartwright, who's Bart Simpson on The Simpsons, was there.
Oh my God.
We had famous,
We have an eclectic group of friends.
musicians
do.
were there. It's, this one gentleman who's named Nick Egan. He did a lot of the artwork for the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, and
He's done a few wine labels for us.
He's
Look up
hung out with-
creativevandal.com and you're going to
Yes.
see ridiculous rock and roll art.
Yeah, we used to hang out with Warhol in New York. So I mean, it was just the coolest crowd,
Yeah.
and our family was there, and our daughters were there, and it was just awesome. It was awesome.
And we got married before the pandemic because
Yeah.
I feel so bad for people who, hey, we're going to get married. It's going to be June 2020. And, poof, everything went away.
Well,
So,
they're all
anyway.
catching up now.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
There's a lot of weddings going on.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
that-
I can
That is
imagine.
so, did your daughters know it was a
Yeah.
So they knew.
We told some people because we wanted them to show up. Anybody who has teenage daughters out there, it's hard to keep their attention span. Like, hey, it's Mindy's birthday. Sure, Dad, we'll be there.
Yeah.
They have to be
Got a
there.
better offer.
They don't care about anyone turning 50, but, getting
Yeah.
married,
Yeah,
that
those-
was enough.
Those few rock and roll friends that maybe show up and sometimes don't, we told them. So they're like, all right, we'll be there.
Yeah, Randy Yellow we told because we were
Yeah,
like, just come
Randy was
down,
there, yeah.
trust us, something cool's gonna happen. He's like, okay.
Okay. Mindy, we would love to hear something from you again.
Yeah, play a little music.
I would.
Can we do special requests?
It's maybe.
I want Metallica.
No. Keep drinking.
I want to
you
do
know,
a long 20-minute Dave Matthews song.
And our short audience here is not going to have the opportunity to taste this Pinot. I'm so sorry. So
It's
you
super good.
It is.
Oh
It
my
is.
God!
Really
it's
missing
so
out.
amazing. I'm
It is.
so sorry.
Sucks to be you.
The couch people will not. Couch people. It's delicious.
The song I am going to play would be better if you were drinking wine right now. Maybe you are at home.
They all are. I guarantee you.
I know you're
Alright.
drinking wine, right? Looking into each camera, we've got just a bunch of
drinking
little
wine.
stuff. So I hope you're drinking wine. But I would love to play some. This is just, let me just say, this has been so fun to come over and
Yeah.
be a part of this with you. I know I am the sole non-winemaker, non-wine, person, shall we say. But
You're the
this is-
sole winemaker.
Yeah.
Yes, I am the sole winemaker. So it's just fun to be here with you guys and talk wine and drink and be in this beautiful setting. So thank you for having us. This is super
Pleasure is
cool.
ours,
great.
believe me.
So let me think what to play.
Imagine.
I think. No, hold on. I'm gonna play. Maybe I'll play a little bit of the song I want to play.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll play a little bit of the song you want to play.
All right.
You want me to play?
Yes.
I mean, I take requests, but I mean,
I say let it rip.
don't tell me what to
Whatever-
drink.
exactly.
Whatever comes to
Tell me
you.
what to play.
All right.
That's-
Where did you just come up with that? So one time she was she was in Chicago. We were in Chicago, and I just made what was it? I made an offhand. It was during sound check, so nobody was there.
Right.
And I said to you, I'm like, hey, play Freebird, because everybody says that. Play Freebird. And she went on the mic and said, don't tell me what to play, and I won't tell you what to drink.
Right?
But it was joking, I think, right?
No.
I can't. You and my mom, I can't
So
tell.
yes.
I can't tell.
All right.
But you do tell me.
Well, I pour it for you.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
good. I'm going to play a little bit of a song that I just think is beautiful. I grew up hearing it, and it's a very kind of spiritual song, whether you're religious or not. I just think it takes me to a beautiful place. So I'll play
Wait
a
a
little.
minute. Is that a church bell when you just
That's
said
a
that?
church bell, yes.
Yes, it is.
You did not plan that.
I didn't, and it's raining flowers.
Now we just need a fuzzy bunny to run across, right?
Are there bunnies here?
Yes, many. It's Healdsburg.
I know.
A million.
No. All right. This is for the church bells ringing in the background.
They were like right on time too. It's like I was like, what is going on here, man?
That was awesome.
You guys have the most amazing show.
I tell you what,
That is production value.
You guys put us to shame. I mean, this is
Cue the church bells.
Wow.
Cue the
we get
church
the church
bells.
bells in our house.
Yeah,
John
right.
Michael Deloche.
We have sirens and stuff in Hollywood, so you know.
I know, it's like UPS trucks backing up and sirens.
And I'm like, wait, they're delivering wine. I'll be right back.
Actually, that has happened, yeah. But this is way more. Okay, can I play a little bit of the song he wanted me to play?
Absolutely.
Imagine. So I just came out with the best of Mindy Abair and realized during the pandemic that I had been making records for 20 years and I had never stopped to kind of look back. So I put a few new songs on it and put the hits that I've had through the years on it. And it was, and a few songs that no one's ever heard that I've always kind of held on to, and it's just never made a record. So this particular song, I recorded it on an alto sax, but I was just sitting in my friend's living room, and it reminded me sitting out here because we were kind of, you know, we're kind of sitting with friends, and it's not a stage and it's not a studio. But this particular song I recorded with friends in my friend's living room, and on YouTube. We just released it on YouTube. I didn't put it on a record or anything. And it's gotten, I think, almost 3.5 million hits.
Wow.
3.5 million views.
Congratulations, that's fabulous.
It's, thank you. I just never thought, you know, growing up in music, you were supposed to have platinum records and you were supposed to have, you know, radio hits and stuff, but that's kind of a hit. So I put it on my best of record. So, I don't know, you can never go wrong with John Lennon. It's a John Lennon cover. And it is Raining Flowers, so this is Imagine. I'll just play a little bit of it.
Something just dawned on me. You should do this for a living. I'm like, wow, you're really good.
I'm going to get the chance to do it for a living now that the world is coming back around, so.
Well, thank you.
Well, Mindy, you are a beautiful person and a beautiful artist. You are a lovely couple.
Thank you.
So, Mindy Abair and Eric Guerra of Reserve Tastings.
Yes.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And it's really an amazing experience being here. George just being a friend of mine for forever, and one of my biggest fans, and that's just means a lot to me. And Susie, I mean, again, you're for all our people out there, please buy wine. It's the Theory of Joy. Her wine is amazing, so go to her website and buy the wine. But thank you
Oh,
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thanks
everybody
for
out
having
there.
us. Woo! Thanks, George.
Chin.
I'll get up.
Cheers, old man. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
We will be back in the courtyard. In the meantime, enjoy wine, enjoy life.